I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they did it! They did it!
Left, feet left.
What the hell was that?
Oh yeah! What the fuck are you talking about?
Yo, what's up, everybody? Kicking it stateside back again. Thursday, August 5th. We have a very special guest in the house today joining us for the whole show. You know him, Lord Walker, my friend. What's going on, man? Glad to have you for a full, exciting episode where we are discussing the U.S. men's national team.
Thank you for having me. I'm very proud to be here. And I'm also very excited to be talking about something that's very dear to my heart. This is equally as dear as my beloved Reds, which is the U.S. men's national team. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, it's we figured that this was the opportunity to get you on since you were pretty close, being friends with some of the former players like Kyle Beckerman, no big deal, and have some of those ties to the U.S. men's national team. So you know it better than probably anybody else. So we were glad to have you on. We're going to discuss today we're going to go through and we're going to see who we want and who is deserving of making this World Cup qualifying roster. And I was looking at Lord Walker years ahead of the show, and we're pretty similar with the starting 11, but then we kind of get a little strayed once we get to our benches, which is what we want. I didn't say hello to my friend Brian up at the top corner. What's up, brother?
Hi, how are you?
How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm wonderful. It's all right. I was letting you do your thing.
I know. With a third man, it's like you got to impromptu on the fly. But yes, everything going swell. I know you have I know we're going to be different probably as well on some of our selections.
Yeah, I have a feeling there's going to be a 9 out of 11 are probably going to be spot on with everybody. And then the benches are definitely going to all be very unique would be my guess. Especially if we go all the way to 23, which how awesome is this though? Like how awesome is it that we're in a state where I can look down on this sheet of paper and there's 40 names that I had to sort through to come down to. And some of them I've crossed out and moved around over the last couple of days 4 or 5 times. So that's a amazing thing. And I honestly, at this point, I don't envy Greg Berhalter at all. Because no matter what he does, we're going to be mad. We're going to be happy. There's going to be, there's going to be something from everybody. But in 2021, he's pretty much made the right decision every single time. So, so far, so good.
Yeah, he's got some work cut out for him. But again, like we said, it's not a bad thing to have where you have almost 30, 40 guys where you got to make some cuts. And again, some people are going to be unhappy with some of the selections that Greg eventually comes up with. But I think we're going to narrow it down. I think we're going to have some decently the same guys that we think will definitely make it. I saw some, again, Lord Walker, that we agree on that will not make it. Don't want to give any spoilers away at all, but we'll save that little chit chat. So yeah, we're going to be focusing on that big time today. Also, touch a little bit. The U.S. women's national team got the bronze medal this morning, so you can't knock that. So congrats to them. 4-3 barn burner against Australia. So they come away with the medal this Olympics. So it's not, I guess, complete failure. I don't know.
It's not.
No. It's something.
Yeah, but hey. They threw they had some heart to get away with that victory and get on the podium. So we'll get into that a little bit as well. We got the Premier League season right around the corner, boys, as well. We got the all-important Community Shield this weekend. The Evil Empire will take on Leicester. And then next Friday, we're getting it kicked off. So all next week, we'll be dealing with the Prem. A little preview of that.
Yeah, we're going to need you back again next week. One of those days, definitely, I'm sure.
For sure.
So
I know we have some table to discuss as well where we're going to think some of these teams are going to finish, maybe give a nice prediction of at least the top 6, how that's going to shake out this year. I know we're going to be on different opinions on that, but also, I mean, that somehow dropped today. Apparently, Leo Messi might not come back to Barcelona after all.
Oh, man.
What I'm hearing. So that is another thing that, that we could have a whole show on that. Unfortunately, we don't have that whole thing. It's something noteworthy that...
well, maybe it'll become part of the Prem show. Who knows?
I don't even know. I hope not. Not if City apparently has a $100 million deal in place for Jack Grealish. That's supposed to be announced within the next few days. So we'll see about that. But yeah, before we get going, Brian, do you want to give us a little Manscaped?
Oh yeah, we got to hit our.
Yeah,
I want to hit all our sponsors today before we get going. Because I think once we get going, we're going to fill up that hour pretty quickly. So, number one, our newest sponsor, Manscaped, with the Olympics. We said the Gold Cup Championship, and now the Prem season starting. Baseball, the major championships, concert. They're all in this summer. But you know what isn't? A wild hairy bush. Tame your pubes with the help from our friends at Manscaped, the leaders in the below-the-waist grooming. The 4th generation performance package includes a brand new lawnmower 4.0. So if an athlete can treat their body like royalty, treat your pubes like Olympic gold. Fellas, do right by your balls and join the 2 million worldwide that trust Manscaped by going on manscaped.com, entering code A2D, and getting 20% off. The brand new lawnmower 4.0 is here to take the podium. 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade for reduced grooming accidents with advanced skin-safe technology. So
it's a beautiful thing. Again, I think I've shown my little handy bag that I got from the Manscaped package. It's fantastic. I mean, 20% off. I mean, it's saving a whole shit ton of money with you. Again, A2D, and you get free shipping. What's better than some free shipping?
Absolutely.
So it's a good one. We're glad Manscaped's on board. We're happy to have them. Again, of course, the good doc, Paul Vidal, best physical therapy. And I believe we're pretty sure it's Jersey or South Jersey. We're still in between on that, but he did win an award. So you got to give it up for Paul Vidal, specialized physical therapy, Cherry Hill in Burlington. He's got the offices going. Summer, and then now we're going to be in the fall. We got the kids playing some actual American football and footy. So either way, get them in there now before all the seasons start back up again. Yeah, and I guess Body Check Wellness, can't forget about them. Good friend Riley Cote and the boys started this huge CBD is the new thing with the hemp, has now become the new recovery. Seems like the tool to go. You could go to bodycheckwellness.com, promo code A2D for 25% off right there. So you could have a field day with some of these Manscaped. You could go to Body Check Wellness. And, of course, our memberships. Any A2D membership, it's $9.99 a month. You get some perks. You get appearances on the show like Lord Walker always is. He's signed up. Members-only stream. You get some shout-outs. Also, you get to throw little picks on the Money Pot podcast. So how cool is that? It's a definite great thing, great little perk. So if you're watching a bunch of shows, it makes sense to grab that. $9.99. It's a steal. Come on, let's be real. But yes, now that we have that all under our belts, you guys ready to get rolling on this starting? Do you want to do starting 11 and go like by position? How do you want to do this?
Yeah, I think we should probably go starting 11 by position, and we'll all kind of say who we feel at a position, and then we will, based off of majority rules, I guess in that we'll kind of cement that as our, and we'll go through and we'll cement an 11, and then we'll kind of talk about everybody else after that, and where certain guys fall and certain guys don't. I think that's the right thing to do.
Right on.
So I just wanted to say hi to everybody again. Thanks for joining us. Good afternoon.
Jakey giving some love to the Lord.
Real quick to Eddie. This show's going to be so heavy on that. I don't want to get into that right now. We did talk about that. It is looking like there's a real good chance that's not happening. And where's he going to go? That's going to be like a whole carousel. So we're going to have to save that for next Tuesday. Because a lot of things are going to have to happen for a lot of teams for that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Real Madrid's got his problems too.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, again, this kind of rolls into the poll question, right? What we're going to talk about. Do you think he needs to select the best 23 players, regardless of age or experience, which I'm sure will be very telling from our selections with the starting 11 and the bench? So we'd love to see what you guys think. Greg says he agrees, and that should always be the case. And Tom says he thinks he agrees. Always, hey, that's okay. Hopefully we're here to educate. And, yeah, let's get rolling into this. I think our goalie position is probably the same all around.
I figure start from the back is the way to go.
From everybody, do we have Zach Steffen?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yes.
Right now.
Yes.
It's basically his.
I love all this Matt Turner hype, and that's great. And he had a clean sheet again last night on his first trip back with New England against Nashville. But it's still Zach's job. Yeah,
for me, definitely. Now for the back four, this might where we start to differentiate.
We're gonna go 4-3-3, right?
4-3-3.
That's what I had. Yes.
Yeah, I think everybody. That's kind of where we're at this point, anyway. With the team, it looks like is the plan. So
right,
yeah.
4-3-3. Yeah.
So
I mean, obviously, I think we all have Serginho Dest playing in the back. Left back.
I would say on the left side. Yeah.
Right. And we probably all three have John Brooks at one of those center back positions, correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
So he's another shoe-in. Now, the next center back position, I think we're all probably different. Lord, why don't you go first? Who do you think is going to be a good pairing next to John Brooks?
So I went with youth. I went with Chris Richards. I believe that he is a good, really, really talented player, up and coming for sure. He's gotten injured, so that's the one thing that is to keep in mind. But if he's healthy, I would give him the slot on that position.
Chris Richards. Brian, what about you? Who do you think?
Oh man, this was the one I think I've changed the most in the last couple of days, or one of the ones I've changed the most. I love Richards, obviously the Bayern ties, and I still went. I went McKenzie. I think I like McKenzie an awful lot. I think with Brooks in there, it's a good pairing. I think he's played in some big games in the Nations League, in some good competition. I think now playing in Europe is going to be big for him, and he's going to continue to grow as well. I love Richards too. I'm looking more forward to like a Richards McKenzie pairing as Brooks continues to age, and unfortunately Father Time does catch up to everybody, and Brooks is on the older end of this group of players. But yeah, I would put McKenzie in personally right now.
Yeah, that again, trying not to be my Union bias, but I think Mark McKenzie as well. I had him slotted in there. I do like I like Chris Richards. I think maybe not this World Cup around.
He's in my 18. Richards is in my 18, by the way. Just if not to get further into that yet, but to be fair, he definitely is in my starting. Like he needs to be on my team. I just didn't have him starting yet, probably because of the injuries.
Yeah, I mean,
he just hasn't had the time.
I think he's going to miss out on this team again. going to the poll question because I think you guys might be more on like the youth side, and it doesn't matter. You play the best of the best, but I think for World Cup you need some veteran leadership out there. I just think he's too young. This time around, I think 2022 he's going to miss out. But 2026, I think he's definitely a shoo-in. But I did not have him going to Qatar with this roster at all.
All right. Well, real quick, I just think that Richards with John, you have to have a veteran, just like you said, and having him next to a John Brooks so he can learn from a John Brooks is key. I mean, if you put, excuse me, if you put McKenzie there, it's understandable.
Same thing, yeah.
And the thing I can say with the Richards is, I mean, I can't 100% say for a fact, but I'm almost undoubtedly positive that the fact that John Brooks and Richards are both living in Germany, playing club ball in Germany, they probably spend a lot of time together.
Yeah.
Two Americans, you know, I'm going to assume that those guys probably link up as often as possible with some of the other guys in that area, you know, so that could play a major factor in that chemistry. So
chemistry is key.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I
mean, for the purposes of this, just because Adam and I both chose McKenzie, we'll put McKenzie there.
Sure.
But, you know, like I said, when we get to the bench, with you putting him in your starting lineup and me having him on the bench, he probably may make this 18. So, yeah. So
right. He would make the team based on that.
But
that's fair.
Who do we have at right back then?
You know, if you didn't figure out through all the finals group texts, and the guy who I thought for 70 minutes stood out in that game and saved that game on multiple occasions, and Reggie Cannon, and the veteran leadership and the defense. I know he doesn't push the ball offensively like they want in this formation, but what he provides defensively and toughness, you can't replace. And you can sub him out later in the game and bring that offensive guy in. But I just, to me, there's nobody right now. And I love Yedlin, and you know, but Yedlin again is another one that just, I know he played in the Nations League. He played pretty well in the Nations League. The injuries are like the constant concern with bringing him onto any roster, because a week in you could be without DeAndre Yedlin. I hate to say it, but it's just been the truth lately. So I don't know. I went Reggie.
Okay. I went Reggie as well.
Yes, I went actually DeAndre Yedlin to give that another experienced guy out there. I thought he played pretty well in the Nations League, and now that he's playing actual like day and, you know, playing a lot with Galatasaray, I think his confidence is getting back up there from his days riding the pine a little bit at Newcastle, and just, I don't know. I see him fitting in. I think obviously this is going to be his last go around with this U.S. men's national team. So I think that, again, I think he'll get the start. But again, I don't know. Greg Berghalter seems to really like Reggie Cannon. Again, we talked about Shaq Moore, but again, Shaq Moore is probably another guy that's going to be left off this time around, and probably brought back for the 2026 go around, I would say, just based off youth and experience, and, you know, the inexperienced part. But yeah, I think Yedlin, but Reggie Cannon, I think, would be my second choice. So Reggie Cannon would be slotted in for us.
Okay. Which
is a fine choice.
Yeah.
He's definitely the second up there. Now, the midfield, I think we have pretty similar ones. At least Lord Walker and I think we have the same three in there. I went with McKennie, Adams, and Musa, that three in the midfield, as to be that starting three.
Yes.
I think Brian had that same one, or Lord Walker, you had that same one, right?
Yes, definitely.
You guys had that same exact one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
McKennie and Adams are shoo-ins to be in those slots as long as they're healthy.
Yeah, and I have them as well in those two. I just differ in Musa.
and Musa. Yeah, I figured that could be the third spot could always be the question mark as to who you put in there. But I believe Musa is the pick to put in there.
And I have Reyna there, which I know a lot of people have Reyna starting up on top in the right. I like Reyna in that spot, so I have Reyna there. Again, another Moose is another guy I do have on the team. Yedlin's another guy I have on the team. Like, not to get into my bench already, but like just to keep it consistent, to stay in the conversation with both those guys. Like, they're both on my team. They just both didn't make my starting roster, only because it was a change last night. But yeah, Reyna I put there. I have there. So we could stick with your guys' midfield. I'm okay with that, putting Musa there.
Okay.
Because then when we talk forwards, you'll see why I moved Reyna. But then, yeah. So hold on, let me write. So we're Weston McKennie, Adams, and Musa as our midfield, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
So as for forwards, then Adam, who do you have for your forward?
Well, Brian mentioned I have Gio Reyna playing out there on the right with Sargent and Pulisic up top. Okay. Those three.
All right, I think we can all write Pulisic in on the left, right? I can write that in. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was gonna not be able to write that in. Okay.
But I'm sure you guys have different strikers besides Josh Sargent in there.
So I have your boy playing up at the right wing in Aronson, and seeing that goal he put up against Barca last night. Again, I know it was a friendly, but I don't know if you saw that goal yesterday, the game winner in the 89th minute for Salzburg to beat Barca. But it was just that's the kind of guy I want playing for my team. He was in the right spot at the right time, follow the ball.
Always is.
Puts the ball in, like he just is. He just is. The kid has a knack for the game. He has a knack for the goal. He has a knack to get guys better. So I have him. That's why I moved Reyna down into that spot, and I actually prefer Aronson up there. I've seen a couple other people this week kind of toying with that idea as well, but I don't know. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like Aronson. If it's not Musa, I would like to see Aronson in that role, actually, in the 3 midfield spot, because that's what he's pretty comfortable playing. I mean, you could play him out there up top, but I don't know. For me, he's pesky in the middle.
He does everything. He just does everything.
I mean, he's going to be a great player and for a while to come, but this
so
time
are we writing, you guys both said Reyna up in the top right, which for me would have to be like, I would put Reyna there as well if he's not starting in my mid, like
in the midfield.
Yeah, if I'm not getting then
about the 4-4-3. I understand that or 4-3-3, excuse me. I understand that we are going to most likely go for 4-3-3. I know that that's what Berhalter is slotted into doing. I personally wanted them to go with a 4-4-2, to be honest with you, and just have the 2 mids act more like a mids and the wingers.
Yeah, like up higher. Yeah,
centralize the two strikers and have, because I thought Daryl DK and Hop would have been great in the middle. I think sometimes Hop gets lost when he plays on the wing. I think he plays forward for his German squad, Schalke, and that's where he looks like he always tends to drift center, but yet when you try to push someone on the wing and then have them be on the wing, unless they're naturally adjusted to that, like a Sadio Mane or something like that, because they're wingers technically, but they're inside forwards in the reality of it all. And unless you have that ability, you get kind of lost sometimes on the wing. And I think that would be amazing to have, have 2 bona fide strikers in the middle. but obviously we're going with the 4-3-3. So that's why
I like that. I like the 4 in the middle. You get a little extra coverage for your center backs, I think, too.
Yeah,
Depending, again, in the World Cup, you're going to go up against these big dogs, and I think that wouldn't be tactically not that bad. I mean, who would the other, if we somehow, hypothetically, we play that 4-4-2, that changes it up. I mean,
yeah.
Would you start in the middle? Would you throw Pulisic in the middle because you want him on the field, or do you keep him as like almost like a false?
No, he'd be the left. He'd be like a left.
He'd be like the left mid, left wing, basically.
Yeah.
And then I would have.
You just have McKinney sitting back a little further, and the rest guys up.
Yeah, I'd have basically Adams and McKinney in the middle, and then I'd have Rain on the right, and I'd have Pulisic on the left, and that would be my 4. Yeah. And then that way, Adams or McKinney can cover for each other, being play, because they both play defensive mid before, and they also can play central mid as well.
Right.
And then so they can go forward and go back, and then have the 2 wings, like I said, be Pulisic and Reyna, and then have the 2 center strikers be. I would like to see like a Daryl DK and Hop to be in the center strikers.
I guess my only issue with that is I feel like some of our best talents in the midfield, and then we're losing, and I think that's why he's going with the 3. Yeah, like I don't know, just personally, like as we between Adams, McKinney, if you consider, I guess, Aronson, Musa, I mean, even Acosta. You missed. Unfortunately, you didn't get on last week, but I had to kind of eat a little crow and give Kellen Acosta just roaring praises for the final 2 games in that tournament and the way he stepped up and took a leadership role for that team and really did his thing. So
I think that I agree with what you're saying. I don't think that we. On my contrary point to that, though, is that I don't really think that we have a great midfield per se. We have a lot of players that like to play forward, and then in that, like all these players that we're talking about most of their teams play left wing, or they play right wing, or possibly even forwards. Not many of them play midfield, and I mean.
Aronson does. Aronson works. I mean, he comes back. I watched him at the Union. He can come back a lot.
I'm not saying he can't play mid. Yeah. I know he can play the 10 and the 8, but normally I think you see him as like or at least when I looked him up actually too, he was listed as a left or a right wing.
Yeah.
So
that's how Salzburg's going to use him.
Well, even like McKinney for Juve, he's more of like a box-to-box midfielder. He plays more in the attack for I feel like his club teams than more of like a holding midfielder role with the US.
Yeah.
Which I think he's great at that. You've seen him score some wonder goals for Juve. That's kind of like that box-to-box midfielder.
Yeah. And that's exactly why like I see it as if he could push forward and kind of be like that Michael Bradley role that he used to hold for us, and we could also have that Tyler Adams that can hold it down in the middle if we need cover, or if Tyler Adams were to push forward, I wouldn't feel like we're stuck if McKinney had to cover the midfield for us at that position. So I agree that. I think our midfield is solid. I'm not saying that we're lacking in the midfield. I just don't think that we have a plethora of choices for the midfield as we would like per se, since so many players like to play forward. But that's cool still, because then okay, cool. Well, as long as they can play defense, or as long as they can play some type of midfield, if they can push forward, that's just great. That gives us cover in the midfield, and then we can press forward with an actual, offensive surge from these players. That'd be great. At least that's my opinion. But
I mean, Adams can do it. I know Adams can play back. He played back for a long time. So
I
was surprised more to see him playing more up in Berhalter's system. I thought he would be one of the guys that would be.
Do you two both have Sargent then as your starting striker?
No. Do you?
I guess I was the lone Josh Sargent guy.
Who did you have as your striker?
I have Matt.
Mr. Hope.
Yeah.
Mr. Matthew Hop.
Hop. Yeah, I don't know. He's another guy that's on my list that's not even going to make the roster because I don't know. I think he looks great, but he reminds me a lot of Josh Sargent where he works his butt off, but the production is like he'll run around for 80 minutes and you won't really notice him. But then that one moment, like saw for Hopi when he scored the game winner against Jamaica, he just pops up in the right place and out jumps that guy for the goal. And I think we don't need two Josh Sargents on the team.
Great. All right,
but I don't know. I think, again, next time around in 2026, he's probably a shoo-in. That's if he, continues to play well at Schalke or wherever he may go coming up. But
I have a feeling he'll be out of Schalke sooner than later.
Oh, they're trying to move him.
Yeah, they're going to cash it. They're going to cash in on this run now.
Schalke's in one of those. If there's administration in the German league, they would probably be very close because the pandemic destroyed Schalke because they have just no money left. They had to sell off everybody.
Yeah,
they're
in some trouble, which is great for me. Sad to see, but great.
Though, give him a shot. If seeing him play, seeing his highlights that I've seen,
the kid, I love his attitude. I love everything about him.
He's got that snarl to him.
To be central as opposed to on the wing. Yeah, and be the central.
Well, he did it. Yeah, he did it for Schalke last year, and he had that scoring run. He went into that big. Yeah, what do you have? 4 games in a row or something like that with a goal.
The hat trick and
it's tough when your team wins only. I think 4 games all season to you kind of under the radar. But yeah, he had a great season. And again, I think in due time he's going to be fantastic. But I think unfortunately there's just some better options. Like I would put, not to get into any benches, but like I would throw DK on the bench instead of him to make the team.
Okay.
There's one guy that everybody seems to neglect when we talk about this striker. And just to be playing devil's advocate, I keep digging deeper into this guy, and I keep trying to look into this guy's career and see where did this guy come from? What has he been doing for the last 5-6 years? He's played in a couple big games for us in the last year, and his name's Jordan Sabishu.
Oh,
and
Morris.
He's already like 25 or 26.
He's 20. Well, that's the thing. But see, that's it. It does, but it doesn't, because we talk with this team and it's like, is he going to bring Matthew Hop? Should he? Probably. But is he? Because he's young. Is he going to bring? We don't even know if he's going to bring some of these other guys that we talk about just because of their age and inexperience.
Well, yeah. To go off that, I agree that it is going to be a question mark, and he is doing well at Young Boys, and he has, and he looked good in a couple of the matches that I've seen him play for U.S. men's national team. I will admit that.
But is he worth a spot on the roster?
That's the thing about it. And what you both said early is that it is not an easy position to be in, to pick, this roster at all. To have 18 men on that team is very, very difficult. And with that said, I know that realistically, we have to put the best players that are going to be and that's again why in the graphic I gave you is why I was saying we have to put the best players that are going to ideally be in their prime once the World Cup hits, when 2022 hits, when 2026 hits. Those are the reasons why we need to have these players in positions to really thrive. And I mean, just like you said earlier too, John Brooks is on the squad. Yes, absolutely. So he's definitely a starter. He's going to hold down and be an anchor for the defense. But do I see him being at 33 in 2026 being, the anchor again? Unfortunately, that's a question mark.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, he's the only one with pretty much the experience from that last World Cup in 2014. So I mean, this time around, he's got to be the captain and the shoe-in. So I mean,
Who's that?
again?
It's my captain.
John Brooks.
Okay.
Was probably the only guy I think that was even on that 2014 squad because everybody else is fairly young. So, well, Yedlin was on that team, so two guys.
Yes, Yedlin was too.
But I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's hard because Sibashu, he's 25 now already, and yes, he is having, like you said, Lord Walker, he's having a good club career at Young Boys, but I don't know.
Yeah,
there's only so many strikers you could really carry, and Sargent's probably going to get in, and whether he starts or not, that remains to be seen.
Sibachu only got one. He got 6 caps so far he just got his first cap this past year, and he scored in one of them. I mean, he did.
Right,
he scored he scored a big goal against Honduras in a big game in the semifinals of the Nations League. Again, I'm not saying that he.
Yeah, because I think he was a French under 23, wasn't he?
He was because he was with Stadia Reims Ream for like his entire life till like 2015, from like as a young kid. So he was actually with a U French team for the longest time, and then he came over to the U.S. Like, I just think the kid has a really good pedigree. He has a really good soccer pedigree. Young Boys is a really good program. Like, he just can't be overlooked. Like, his name doesn't get brought up enough in my opinion. Like, he got picked for that Nations League and started games in that for a reason. And we talked that was the A team, right? Like, everybody says that was the A team. Then the Gold Cup was the BC team. So if he's getting that kind of pick and he did score a goal in that performance, I don't think you got to think Berhalter's kind of likes the kid enough that he could be considered. That's all.
Well, then that would mean that Hopi does not make the team because it's either one of those two probably because you're not taking both.
Well, maybe again you got to
think about Zardes. He's going to get a good.
Here's my thing.
Berhalter loves him.
We got to remember, like, this is beyond even 23 guys. I mean, we're looking at 26 to 27 guys probably that it's going to take to qualify for this World Cup between injuries, between COVID, between club releases, club schedules. Like, this isn't like this 11 is super important. This 18 is super important, but that other group of 5, 7, 8 guys is super important too. Like,
I pushed it to 40, so I
like, that's what I'm saying on my list. Like, I think I have 40 people.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
And Sabachu does make my 12-man replacement pool. Definitely, unfortunately, he's not on my bench, but that's just because we had to make a decision. Like, I chose DK and Sargent as my strikers on my bench, as opposed to, you could put Sabachu, right there as well. You could put Awaya, So,
well, yeah, we can. I mean, we could probably talk about some of the bench players that you want on the 18. I mean, speaking of Timmy Weah, I would assume we all have Timmy on the bench.
No.
I don't.
Oh, wow. I'm the only one that has him on the bench.
Yeah. I have him as my 12-man replacement, but I'll just give you my bench because I know I don't want to run over time. So
yeah, well, I mean, we have 20 minutes, but yeah.
Here, let me throw your banner up, and you can kind of walk us through your bench.
Okay, so my bench, I have Horvath as my goalkeeper.
Mm-hmm.
I have Robinson, and I have both Robinsons as my defensive players.
Okay,
as my defensive cover, as well as Yedlin. But Yedlin again can play. He could even cover midfield if we want to really put it there. Atasowe I have as well as being my midfield, And then I have DK and I have Sargent as being my 2 forwards in coverage.
Right on.
Nice.
Now I know that like if you looked at the replacements real quick though, I mean Matt Turner, yes, I get it. Like Turner is definitely had a great season.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have 3 goalkeepers.
You have to.
You're not carrying three. You're not going to carry 3 goaltenders, for instance. But
no, in the replacement though. Yeah,
right, exactly.
3 total. Yeah.
I have Long. I have Giochini, Gio. I have Green, who might be. I have Julian Green actually, who might be controversial because he's one of those players that's getting up long in the tooth. Hasn't really had that great of a showing when it comes, or not. I'd say great.
Yeah, I have him kind of on the outs.
Yeah, it's one of those that Gorda Firth, the team he plays for, just got promoted to the first division this year. So if he plays decently well, I mean, who's to say? I mean, maybe he does.
Yeah, right. But I also have Zimmerman. I have
Walker, nice.
Busio, Bello, Acosta. Gave your love to your homie. And I have Moore and Morris as the final layout. Okay. And let's take it real. I do want to still see some of the final 40 that I had. I still want to see some of these players get some love. I want to see Soto play. I want to see Conrad play. I want to see Reynolds play. Shea play, like all these young players. I want to see them get caps.
Yeah. Again, it's hard, and this is, I just don't see those guys making it this time around. But 2026, you want to see the Yuli Linezes of the world, and like you said, Soto, the Richie Ledesma when he gets healthy.
Hey, talk about a Bello too. Like Bello's another one that came into that. Bello came into that final and got thrown to be the left back in that final. And I think if Vine starts that final against Mexico, we don't win that game. Like Bello did a great job controlling that side of the defense for that 60 some minutes that he played. So he's a good player.
Who's your bench?
Oh my God, dude! So I have Turner moved up to second on my bench over Horvath. Again, just going with the hot hand.
Recency bias,
but I had all 3 as the coming on to the 23 man. You have to have all 3 goalies.
Yeah, it's tough if Ethan's not playing at Nottingham Forest this year. It's like,
yeah. I have Anthony Robinson. I have Richards as my center back, one of my center backs on the bench, where Lord Walker had him starting, but he would have been on my bench. I originally had Miles Robinson as well. I had both of them, but I made a last-minute switch with Yedlin and brought Yedlin on. I have Kellen Acosta on the bench. I feel like he's going to make the team. I feel like he's earned that spot. Berhalter has certain guys he needs to lean on as leaders. Like he feels like, and that's just, I could just see it happening. I have Musa as well as my other midfielder on the bench where you guys had him in the starting lineup. That's where we differed there. And just another one is Zardes because he put the ball in the net again for Uncle Greg, and he helped him out every time he called on him in this tournament. And
I know
you can't deny the guy has 14 goals. Yeah, he's probably definitely our highest scoring capped striker, with Josie definitely nowhere near the team anymore. So it's like. It's not that I wanted to necessarily, like, there's a lot of other guys if I was making my team, I would put there, but I kind of try to put myself in what Berhalter's going to do as opposed to what I'm 100% doing. So I put Zardes there, and I left out guys like DK and Hoppy and put them into that reserve, which all those guys will end up getting caps and playing. Like these 23, man, those guys, there's going to be injuries. Like we said, there's going to be clubs that reject guys getting a week or two at certain times.
Oh, no doubt.
During certain months, depending on what's going on in their seasons. So, like, I have guys like Legit still that should be in consideration. He's been on every team. Like, you can't deny that guy has literally been in the 18 of every team in this winning streak. So, DK, Hovarth, Hoppe, Miles Robinson, Giannacci Giacchini has to be somewhere for me. Like,
yeah,
I wanted him on my bench.
I like that kid. I like Gio a lot. But
unfortunately, we couldn't get you on at the end of last week, which I'd rather you had been here for this whole episode anyway. But like, the fire and the passion that kid played with in that short little times he got in there, and the way he changed the momentum of that game, you can't teach that. And the fact that the kid can play too, like you got to work him in, and you got to find him time in this team somewhere.
Yeah.
It's hard, man.
Yeah. I think Bucio's unfortunately maybe just a little too young. I love him. But
yeah, I have Horvath obviously backing up Zach. I got Reggie. Obviously, you could switch Reggie and Yedlin between the three of us. I got Timmy Weah, though, on the bench. I also have Aronson on the bench, backing up, maybe filling in for Musa, giving him a spell, new fresh life, new legs late in the game. Give him, even if he doesn't play, I think he'll be in the 23. Just give him that experience for the next time around. I do have Kel Acosta. I think he kind of played his way into a holding midfield backup role. I have Matt Miazga in a center backup role for that team as well. And unfortunately, I think it would come down to DK and Zardes most likely. I don't even know how many. Ant Robinson's probably, he got to put him on the team as well. And then Sebastian Legit, he might be teeter-tottering on that 18 to 23-man roster. I think Miles Robinson played himself into the 23-man roster as well with his performance in the Gold Cup. Obviously, Matt Turner will be the third goalie. I think those three have pretty much cemented themselves as the goalies. But I'm leaving like your Hoppies and your Owen out to Sowie, I think, your Giacchinis, your Sibashoes, your Shaq Moore. I think they're going to be the odd guys out, unfortunately. But yeah, it's and Areola, I think he's one of those fringe guys that Uncle Greggy loves. So
I think that should have been the swan song. Like, Gold Cup should have been Areola's swan song. I think it's time to say goodbye.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're right? Like,
Again,
I'm kind of looking at you too, Lord Walker. I know how
we probably do, but it's different from what we want. We don't want to see Zardes, I don't think. Areola is probably, we know what he brings to the table. I don't know. Doesn't do it for me. Even though Uncle Greg does like him. And I think he's got a really good shot to make this damn team, unfortunately.
Considering the chances that he had in that final, that alone was the reason why I was like, we can't. It was like just one too.
Thank God we won. Thank God we won.
Yeah,
because if we didn't win, like, this whole week would have been talking about Paul Areola.
Yeah,
it was. He got to raise the cup as the captain. He got, that's like, thank you, Paul. Appreciate you, and retire from the U.S. men's national team.
Hey, that's why at the end of the day, when on my list too, I was like, there's a category called "Thank you for your service." It's not that we don't appreciate the fact that you played and represented as best as you can for our country, but at the same time,
Oh, you do have a thank you down there.
Yeah. Who you got? Josie? Yeah. Who else?
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't see it that well.
Oh yeah, I got Johansson, Leggett, Ream, Zardis.
That's another one. Timmy Ream. I almost put him on, but he's going to be 35 by the time the World Cup comes
35.
around.
Tim can't make it. That's
Zardis,
interesting that you got all
Altidore.
those guys. Yeah, I don't disagree with you on a lot of them. I just don't know if that's going to be the route they're going to go.
No, I mean everyone will try to hold on this for as long as they can, but.
And
Yeah,
I saw your face when I said Leggett's name and when Adam said Leggett's name, and I don't know what it is. There's just something about him that seems to be a good order on this team, but like there are times where he's just kind of like slow to get back on the ball. He's not like he does turn the ball over, but like they've been winning since Leggett's been a part of this run.
Hey,
like
I get that.
He brings him into the squad no matter what it is. Friendly, Gold Cup, Nations League. When we were playing in the Switzerland friendly, I think someone got hurt and he flew over. And he got in, and I don't know. He does a decent job when he gets in. So I don't. It's gonna again. He's one of those like it's like he's gonna have a good chance at making this team.
No, I get that, but that's the same. I'm the same on Roldan.
Roldan. I'm not. Yeah,
he's one of those where I've seen and I know what he brings, and I don't know if he's.
I like Williamson a lot. I like Eric Williamson
too.
a lot.
I thought
he brought a lot to that game.
Sure. Yeah, I have him on the radar.
Again, great young player.
He's another one of those guys that
I don't know
didn't get selected for the Olympic qualifying, and you go back and look and see we could have used a guy like that in Olympic qualifying, and he took that to heart. And when he got selected for this team, he really came in and he really played his ass off trying to keep his name in the hat. So.
Yeah. And again, to what Lord Walker said, I want to see that new wave when 2026 comes around with the Sebastian Sotos and
I want to
Desmas,
I want to see it in 2023. Like
Brian
after
Reynolds,
this World Cup is over, like there's going to be a lot more guys that go on that thank you for your service list.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but these guys that we're naming are like 20 years old, not even some of them.
Yeah. Well, no, that's what I'm saying. But some of the other guys like the Brookses and even Reggie. I mean, Reggie's not old, but he's not young. Like Reggie's good, but like I don't know if Reggie's a back-to-back World Cup guy, but he should be part of this run. I don't know. After this one, it's like, all right, Brian Reynolds is going to be getting older. Robinson's going to be getting older. Dest maybe moves back to the right. Like things are going to change. Hopefully we're going to just continue this progression and keep getting these more star players and superstar players and keep
the good
building.
thing in 2026 we qualify no matter what, so we don't have to go through the rigors of qualification. I don't believe
by 2026 I feel like we should have a star player at every spot in the 11 at least. Like every one of those guys should be starring at whatever club they're at, or at least like a top 3 player on whatever club they're at. And they all should be in Europe.
I can say this much, and I know we're running short on time, but I can say this: for the starting 11, I was looking at it, and again, on there I have how old they'll be when they actually get into that World Cup for 2022 or 2026. Our squad is the starting 11 that I put forward. There's only 3 players that are over 25. So and that's like saying Stefan at 26. Brooks being the longest at the tooth, being at 28. That kind of actually I think those are actually the only 2 actually that are over 25 actually, just those 2. So I mean, if you look at the starting 11, I mean they're all like Cannon's 22. Cannon's only 22 years old.
Is he only 22? For some reason I thought he was like 25.
He might look older, but he's not older. He's
I guess he's just been around. He's just been around a long time too. He came up really young.
He's 22. Richards is 21. Dest is 20. McKenny is 22. Adams 22. Musa 18. Pulisic 22. Hop, who I had on my squad at least, is 20. Reyna 19.
Bellows 18.
It's ridiculous.
18.
Solid core of players if that's your starting 11. And then even if you go to the bench again, you have Robinson 24, both Robinsons, Robinson 24, the other Robinson at 23. You You have Atasawe at 20, DK at 20, Sargent 21. You know, I mean, Yedlin is 27. I get that, but and Horvath is 25. And you know, and Matt Turner again 26.
You got Conrad. You got but
But
Conrad's another one.
If you start looking at those young, like your Arisons, who's 20. You know, or you look at your Che, you know, who plays for your Bayern.
Yeah, Che's another one. No one even mentioned until like now.
Right. No, and I have him on my final 40, but you know, or
again in due time.
Right. Your Sotos, your Ferreras, your Williamsons, your Reynolds, your Yanez, you know, they're all 20, 19, 23. Like as in this new wave of players that are now emerging for this U.S. men's national team is it's a very exciting time. I know that they often put that moniker of golden generation, you know, and that's a dangerous moniker to put onto a team because then you have such high expectations for that squad. But I mean, realistically, this could be a golden generation for U.S. men's soccer, and that's why I'm extremely interested to see how it goes.
Yeah, those guys you named, though, it's like I'd love to see by 2026 them getting, like Brian kind of said as well, getting like cementing themselves in a starting 11 with their club teams, because all those guys you named are pretty much getting loaned out by their parent clubs.
Yeah.
Currently.
Yeah.
And even Chris Richards is getting. Did he? Was
he's
that
at
moved
Hoffenheim.
to Hoffenheim? Did they sell him, or is that a loan?
I think it's still a loan.
I
believe it's still a loan. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's still.
He is on Hoffenheim, though. You're right about
that. He is playing. He is currently playing with Hoffenheim,
which he plays. He's
end of last season. Doesn't he? Yes. Oh yeah, he was end of last season. He was starting with them. So I'm pretty sure it's still a loan. Though.
I guess it depends on if he's in Bayern's plans. I guess for the future.
Yeah, they has to be. They're with their aging center backs. I don't think
they don't like Nicolas Sula anymore.
Yeah. All right, Hummels.
Hey, watch it.
You watch it because Sula will be in a Dortmund yellow before.
Yeah, we'll pay like $70 million for him. He's great. What are you talking about? Slowest guy out there.
A Haaland for Sula switch.
Ay, Dios mío. But yeah, I mean, it's again, it's a good problem to have that we're talking 40 people deep. That basically we named all these guys that in the next 4 years have a chance to be on this World Cup team in 2026, which is fantastic. And this is why, like you said, Lord Walker, it's a very exciting time that I just want September to be here when we start qualifying for this 2022 and seeing in the plan, this first team plan into action, because this is when it really counts. I said the Gold Cup, Nations League, it's great. You know, we've been very successful. We've beat our rival twice that we could not beat previously.
Yeah.
But now it's the, time to nut up or shut up, basically, like they like to say.
Now it's time to show on the world stage. I'm not. And again, I know we're running short on time, but let's be honest. U.S. men's national team gets severely overlooked, if not undervalued, for their performances in the World Cup. I know when in South Africa, I was on edge when on some of the performances that we were witnessing. I know that a lot of times, people don't even get us coming out of the group stage, much less making it, into the knockout stage. So I really love our chances. I love the fact that the team's going to have a lot of team building to be going on with them. It's going to be very interesting. There's some players that I know that I'm interested to see get more involved, as you just said, in the squad. But it's a good time to be a U.S. men's national team supporter, I think. And
absolutely.
I'm excited. And hey, anytime you win the Gold Cup, anytime you win the Nations League, and you do it beating Mexico, your main rival, especially with how Mexico looks at us when it comes to soccer, especially I think every person that I know that is a Mexico fan, whenever you get into conversations, they're ready to pound their chest for Eltree. Hey,
they're big mad right now. Let's say that.
It's good. It's a good feeling to be able to play that Yankee Doodle.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said, we're as a nation, we're never like looked at to even make it out of the group stage. But in 2010, we got out on that last goal by Landy Donovan.
Yeah,
got
which
through.
was an amazing goal.
Amazing, one of the best.
Love that. Yeah.
2014, get out of the group and take this golden generation of Belgium to extra time.
Exactly. Yep. And we could have won that game. I think we were in that game. We were
Wando missed the sitter. We could be talking different here.
Oh, and I love Wando. Wando's a good friend of mine, actually. Like, as in, I definitely.
People don't forget. That just.
I
brutal.
Somewhat, I don't even talk. I don't really even bring that up. But I mean,
yeah. That's the thing. People are like,
bring up his million MLS goals, and
we said this last show.
Leave that one out of conversation.
U.S. team, MLS,
dominant
legend.
Yeah,
but
still
in
out
that
there.
game, you have Julian Green, who came in and scored a great goal. People were wondering why.
Very young Julian Green,
very young Julian Green. Yes.
Yeah.
And then you figure out, oh, that's why you put him on the team. I get it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it just hasn't panned out for him too much since then.
No, that happens. Unfortunately.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it does. There's going to be guys that we named that they're just not going to be what we thought they were going to be. No. And there's going to be guys that we've all doubted that are going to come out and shine and be starting for us in 5 years. So
that's crazy. That was 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Real quick. Also, I will say this too, to your second poll question, because I agree. I somewhat agree, obviously, with the first question, but the second question, I was going to say, I think they should. I think they should be allowed to keep the 4 stars.
I agree to that too.
Like, to all of a sudden have an issue with it and problem, like they've been rocking that jersey forever.
Yeah, so super quick, Uruguay they had a jersey come out with 4 stars on it representing their 4 world championships. And now apparently FIFA has a problem with that because 2 were actually only recognized as World Cups. The other 2 were pre-Olympics, and they were Olympics, but they were considered World Championships. Yeah. It was the Olympics. There was no World Cup yet. But FIFA backed that back then. Like, it was still a FIFA backed thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it was still the FIFA championship. So they deserve 4 titles, and
right.
I guess it's kind of like Super Bowl and NFL championships, and how people don't recognize those.
Maybe make 2 gold stars and then have like
2 silver, something, or 2 offset stars or something.
Yeah,
but
compromise.
They deserve the 4 stars. You can't just take them away now. So
yeah, I think they
true that. Yeah, I mean, it sucks that we missed, and the Messi thing dropped just before the show, and we didn't really get to talk about it because we really wanted to, harp on this U.S. team. And I'm getting texts and stuff. Oh, Messi gone. Where do you think he's going to go?
Right.
Here's
any quick things do we know? I mean,
Messi to Union.
Yes, Messi to the Union.
Yeah.
Throw it out there. We're going to sell the whole stadium. We're going to play in Chester on the park.
No, here's my quick take on it. All we hear is Harry Kane, Erling Haaland, Jack Grealish. That's all the names we've been hearing. Messi needed to hear his name again, so now there's a snag in the contract. We already know Barcelona's fucking broke. Lord Walker's told us and broken it down for us 1,000 times. Barcelona's broke. So whatever they're trying to do to make this contract work, they probably haven't been able to do yet. So now they're going to try and sell off even more. They're still going to work on this because we all know Messi's not going anywhere. They're going to try. They're going to get this done. He just needed his face back in the news again.
They want him to take a 50% pay cut, I think.
Yeah,
Well, look, it's very difficult to real quick. This, as you said, like, guys, in Spain needs Messi. That's simple as that.
Yeah,
like,
the country
needs a player, and that country is going to figure it out because they understand that two of their biggest tourist attractions is Real Madrid and Barcelona, period.
Right. Yeah.
And if the biggest star leaves, you're not going to have that. And especially if you start having a lot of the other players that have to go as well, you're not going to have that allure of saying, oh, well, you need to come because you need to see Messi maybe one last time.
Yeah.
No, you might have seen him. I mean, truthfully, I think that it should be his last time of played in, the red and blue.
It's tough.
It sounds harsh. It sounds tough, but realistically, if you're not going to hold people accountable to, stay within the measures of fair play, what's the point? What's the point of having fair play?
La Liga is definitely going to start to suffer here. It's already tough to make people watch because Messi.
Yeah, and real quick too, don't think he's coming. And for all you Manchester City fans out there, okay, that whole you guys and your lawyers got out of the first trouble. I don't know if you saw this news too, because this has dropped just recently. But the Premier League is looking into your books. They're looking into all the things that again because
another slap on the wrist coming.
And it's going to be tough to slap the three out of 4 time winner of your league on the wrist harsh.
Didn't Sheffield Wednesday have to start a season with negative 12 points?
And they got relegated, I believe.
Yeah, because they, so why this needs to happen everywhere. If you're not going to follow the rules, they stretch it already enough for everybody. If you can't stay within those guidelines, then you deserve punishment. So
I mean, you have.
Well, yeah, if you're dropping 100 mil on Jack Grealish and then 175, 200 on Messi, people are going to be like,
how about the fact they might spend it on Harry Kane?
Yeah.
Okay.
That
alone make you go, wait a minute. You guys just got out of getting in trouble, with your lawyers and everything else, and
they're going to tell you Aguero came off the books.
Yeah, you let Aguero and all those guys come off the books, and now you're going to say, you know what though? Let's drop another 250 million, 260 million on 2 players.
It's not even fun.
That shouldn't raise any red flags.
Yeah.
Not that my squad can talk much, but
that's very true.
I gotta keep my lips sealed on that.
Your squad definitely made their pitch. I will give you this. If they land Lukaku which is what the rumors
apparently
are.
Romelu wants to come back. He said to enter the board. He was like, please, if they offer 80 to 100, please accept that. I kind of would like to rejoin. If
Lukaku comes back, which is it's not a Holland. I get that. It's just in sheer age. That's the only difference, I believe, in the difference of the 2 players. That's all. But other than that, hey, you guys made your pitch. I mean, apparently you guys offered them 130 million or something like that, or
it's a lot though.
It's a lot of money, and they wanted 160, and they didn't budge.
My team's spending smart money.
Look at those things, and real quick again, I was just looking at something recently about Neymar. You realize that he got his buyout was 222 million for Neymar.
Solid.
Okay, to come to PSG, and other than I get he's winning domestic cups, he's winning league cups. That's not too hard when you're basically the Bayern Munich.
Yeah, they didn't even win. They didn't win the league last year. So
exactly, yeah.
That's with Neymar and Mbappe. So
that's ridiculous.
So those things are so crazy that you have these situations going on where they're people aren't really. He's not. 160 million for Holland, I think is a steal. Almost
for 21 years old.
At that age,
At that age,
guy just scores bangs and goals. That's what he does.
Considering what he wants, considering what Neymar went for, considering what these players, the fees on them is so ridiculous. And having been a representative for players and stuff as an agent fees and all these other fees that get tacked on,
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
But yeah, Great discussion today, though, guys. Love it.
Yeah. So we'll be back on Tuesday. It'll be pretty much a start of our Premier League preview.
Yeah.
And by then we'll have the Community Shield winner, and we'll discuss that. And that's pretty much it going forward now. Till that'll get us through August.
See news dropping, I'm sure.
Well, it's perfect timing. Oh yeah, we'll have some transfer news, and the Prem will get us rolling into all through August, and then we'll be back with men's team and Prem in September. So
busy end of this year and 2022.
I think
going into next World Cup here, it's gonna be fun.
Frill, if you're at the sports book, and that's why you need this information quick. And if one of the options is to stay at Barcelona, just pick that one, because
absolutely.
Scared Messi isn't going anywhere. He's staying where he's comfortable. He wants to be in the news.
Yep. August 14th, 9:30 a.m. my time.
Hey,
let's see.
You'll have plenty of time to promote that this week. Friday the 13th.
Oh, yeah,
it's going to be scary.
Oh, Eric came in right. To your lips, to God's ears, right?
Yep. All right. I gotta get out of here. I got a son I gotta go pick up. So
yeah, I gotta go to work as well. But guys, thanks. It's been fun. Good discussion today, Lord. We appreciate you coming back on, man.
Thanks for having me on.
Always a pleasure. And we'll see you guys again on Tuesday with some preview of the Prem, and Community Shield obviously takes place this weekend, and any fun Messi news. So again, have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Tuesday.
Later, guys.
Love you guys.